Doug MPA back with another one. On my channel, I like to point out the fact that women have as much, if not more, of a proclivity to commit evil acts than men in 2024. And why is that, guys? Because women are strong and empowered, but society still doesn't hold them accountable. Men get audited real quick for their foolishness. Women do not. Women are committing the same crimes, sometimes more so, and are still getting less time for doing the same crime. So this is going to be kind of a longer one because I'm going to show you two news stories of women doing some crazy stuff, and then I found a study done by the Sentencing Project in Washington D.C. that shows the dramatic increase in women and girls incarceration rates. So we're going to get into this. Before I do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. I'd really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. And if you've taken notice at the increase in crimes, especially violent crimes perpetuated by women, whether it be on the news or social media. Put what you think in the comments. Put your findings. Put any interesting stories you found. I'd love to read them. Let's get into this first story here. Let's go.
Well, this Tampa teenager pleaded guilty to being the mastermind behind a robbery and murder more than 2 years ago. Madison McCall and her brother were both involved in the crime and serving prison sentences. But it turns out a mistake was once made on Madison's sentence, and now prosecutors want to fix it. New tonight, Fox 13's Gloria Gomez shows us what the judge has decided to do about it.
Say yes?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Madison McCall was 15 years old when she was arrested and charged with plotting an armed robbery with her brother, Henry McCall.
15 years old, you guys. 15. She plotted an armed robbery. She was the mastermind behind it. It's crazy. This is what's out there right now, guys.
That ended in murder. The siblings' cases ended in plea deals.
He should do the time. Okay, and he did it maliciously.
Henry was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Under Madison's agreement, she was sentenced to 5 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation.
There it is, guys. I told you. I told you. She plotted the robbery. And she gets 5 years in prison and then 10 years of probation. And that's it. And her brother, who looks like quite the winner, doesn't he? He gets 25 years. Modern women, they're still shielded from accountability, shielded from consequences. And that's why they're acting the way they act in 2024.
To run consecutively for a total sentence of 15 years for her crime. However, that's not what happened. Madison was serving her prison time while also doing her probation time, nearly cutting her sentence in half. The error was caught, and now prosecutors want the illegal sentence fixed. To do that, the judge agreed Madison will have to come back to court.
At least they caught it. So what happened was she's supposed to do 5 years in prison and then 10 years probation. Well, there was an error that said that she was doing 5 years in prison and 5 years probation at the same time. So she would only have to do 5 years of probation when she got out. And they caught that, and they're fixing that real quick.
I'll get that signed, and we can reset this for June 19th.
For years, prosecutor John Terry has painted Madison as the leader of the two with evil intent.
She had the wherewithal at 15 years old to set up a robbery
that ended in the shooting death of Jesse Silver.
She knew it was a setup. She knew her brother was coming with a gun. She actually reached into the car and grabbed the drugs during the course of the robbery. Judge, this is the actions of an adult, whether she's 15 or not. She did a horrible crime, and Jesse Silver is dead today as a result of that crime.
Gloria Gomez, Fox 13 News.
There you go.
Just in tonight, a second young woman is now facing murder charges in the death of a Gwinnett County 21-year-old. Right now, Audrey Zelke is in custody in Carroll County as she awaits extradition here to Atlanta. Police say she's charged with murder and concealing a death in the death of 21-year-old Leandre Flint. Zelke marks the second suspect charged with Flint's murder. Back in October, authorities arrested 20-year-old Destiny Stevens on the same charges. According According to police, Flint was shot and killed at the Marquee Buckhead apartment complex. We followed this case for you from the very beginning. You can find our full coverage online tonight. Just look for this story on our homepage, 11alive.com.
So 2 women, guys. 2 women, they took this guy out. That's where we are. That's where we are. And so let's get into these hard numbers. Incarcerated women and girls. So this is from the Sentencing Project from March of 2023. Over the past quarter century, there has been a profound change in the involvement of women within the criminal justice system. This is the result of more expansive law enforcement efforts, stiffer drug sentencing laws, and post-conviction barriers to reentry that uniquely affect women. The female incarcerated population stands over 6 times higher than in 1980. Over half, 58% of imprisoned women in state prisons have a child under the age of 18. How sad is that? These guys, these little kids have their mothers in jail. And I wonder how many of them had their child in jail. Could you imagine? Between 1980 and 2021, the number of incarcerated women increased by more than 525%, rising from a total of 26,326 in 1980 to 168,449 in 2021. While 2020 saw a substantial downsizing due to the cough, this trend reversed with a 10% increase in 2021. So the women stayed inside for a little bit, and then they got right back to it in 2021. Though many more men are in prison than women, the rate of growth for female imprisonment has been twice as high as that of men since 1980. There are approximately 976,000 women under the supervision of the criminal justice system. Guys, are any of these numbers surprising to you? I thought it would be more, to tell you the truth. I thought that it would be more. I'm surprised it's this low. It says women under control of the U.S. correction system. So 83,349 are in prison, 85,000 are in jail, 711,000 are on probation, and 96,386 are on parole. Okay. Not surprising. In 2021, the imprisonment rate for Black women, 62 per 100,000, was 1.6 times the rate of imprisonment for white women. And why do you think that is, guys? We're going to leave that one alone. Guys, I hate this Latinx term. And if you ask any Hispanic person or any person of Latin descent, they will tell you they hate it too. But, liberal elites have to push their terminology onto everybody else, even a race of people that don't want it. So Latinx women were imprisoned at 1.3 times the rate of white women. The rate of imprisonment for Black and Latinx women has declined since 2000, while the rate of imprisonment for white women has increased. Between 2000 and 2021, the rate of imprisonment in state and federal prisons declined by 70% for Black women, while the rate of imprisonment of white women rose by 12%. So I guess I want to see the stats for 2023 and 2024, because apparently this only goes up to 2021. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see an increase in 2022 and 2023, but we can only use the numbers that we have, guys. So imprisonment rates by gender, race, ethnicity. So white, you can see this here. Check out that. Okay. So highest and lowest female state imprisonment rates. So Idaho's number 1. Wow. I wonder why that is. Montana, Oklahoma, South Dakota. And the lowest is Massachusetts. Okay. Cool. Okay. The rate at which women are incarcerated varies greatly from state to state. At the national level, including both state and federal imprisonment, 47 out of every 100,000 women were in prison in 2021. The state with the highest rate of female imprisonment is Idaho, and the state with the lowest incarceration rate of women is Massachusetts. And that's crazy that it's Idaho, because all they show you is Black women doing crazy stuff. So I guess white women are still the champions of the world. And I think it's Idaho, Montana, Oklahoma, South Dakota. I would guess it's all drug charges, guys. Because what else do they have to do in Idaho, Montana, and Oklahoma besides fentanyl and methamphetamine? Offense types for men and women in state prisons. Women in state prisons are more likely than men to be incarcerated for a drug offense or property offense. See, there you go. So I guarantee you, like I said, these top ones are all about drugs. 25% of women in prison have been convicted of a drug offense compared to 12% of men in prison. 19% of incarcerated women have been convicted of a property crime like theft compared to 13% of incarcerated men. The proportion of imprisoned women convicted of a drug offense has increased from 12% in 1986 to 25% in 2020. Incarcerated girls. Of the 36,479 youth and residential placement on a typical day, 15% are girls. As with boys, girls are confined considerably less frequently than that at the start of the century. In 2001, 15,104 girls were confined in residential placement settings on a typical day. By 2019, that figure had been cut by two-thirds. African American and Native American girls are much more likely to be incarcerated than Asian, white, and Latinx girls, of course. Though just 15% of youth incarcerated on a typical day are girls, they make up a much higher proportion of those incarcerated for the lowest offenses. 34% of youth in placement for status offenses such as truancy and curfew violations are girls. More than half of youth incarcerated for running away are girls. Overall, one-third of incarcerated girls are held for status offenses or for violating the terms of their probation. In 2019, girls in the youth justice system were detained after their arrest 41,016 times and committed to be out of home placement after the adjudication 9,061 times. Okay. So yeah, in 1990, girls comprised 18% of all youth arrests, a proportion that grew to 31% in 2019. Yeah, and these numbers, they're just going to get higher, guys. Do any of these numbers shock you at all? Any of them? Once again, the most important ones. Between 1980 and 2021, the number of incarcerated women increased by more than 525%. And it's just going to keep going up, guys. Because what's stopping them? Us men, we can't stop them. And even if they do catch a charge, they're going to spend less time in prison or not face consequences at all. So what's going to stop this from going up, guys? Let me know in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.